2024. Pam, can you do a roll call, please?
Sure. Michael Gore,
Here.
Austin Groner,
Here.
Jim Barr,
Yeah.
Eric Nyland,
Here.
Michael Lau.
Here.
And Robert Romer is not present.
Okay. Hope this should be a quick meeting tonight. I don't think we've got a lot to discuss. Item one was the review of the OSRD bylaw and workshop information. So I don't know, Pam, that we need to do any review of the bylaw, but we do want to discuss when Randall was going to hold that first meeting. And I think oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I spoke to the town administrator. He's fine with amending the contract to transfer the funds into the next fiscal year for the second workshop, but Randall stated he's not able to do two in-person workshops. So he would be willing to do one in person regarding cluster development in general in late May or early June, as we discussed. And then after the new year, he would be willing to do something more specific, but that would regarding the cottage bylaw or whatever we end up naming it, but that would have to be a remote meeting.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, he could even, if we're still doing remote meetings, then he could just present whenever we have an information session for the cottage bylaw. So that sounds fine to me. So if we look at end of May, 22nd, 29th, beginning of June, 5th, 12th, somewhere in there. I don't know, does anyone have a preference? I know we're probably running up against school activities and graduations and stuff at that point.
That's no problem for me.
Pam, any of those days work better for you?
I'm fine.
So May, are we meeting on the 8th? I don't know. So town meeting is the 6th?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. So I guess there's no reason we can't meet on the 8th. So 8th and 22nd. I mean, tentatively, we could schedule that for the 22nd. Otherwise, it would be June 12th. Any preferences from anyone? And again, this is an in-person at the library, Pam? Is that
No,
what we're
the
shooting
library's closed for construction, so we
for? Oh, is
can't.
it?
Well, the meeting room is. There's some
Oh, okay.
bathroom issues. They're redoing the plumbing that was faulty, I guess.
Okay.
And it's a pretty big construction project, so the meeting room's closed for a few months, so it would have to be in the Houghton building.
Okay, that's fine. Do you want to check on the dates on availability for the 22nd of May or the 12th of June?
Yeah, I think they're both open. I didn't see much scheduled in there,
Okay.
so it's really just about your availability.
So either
Personally, I can't do the 22nd, but the June's better for me, but whatever works better for the group.
okay. I mean, I'm fine with June 12th. It gives us some extra time to notify it and plan on exactly what Randall's gonna present for that. So let's say June 12th then for it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And I saw you included a link, Pam, to a PowerPoint. So I assume that this was just a general. So this was, I think you said, in support of like just cottage bylaws in general.
In general,
was?
it wasn't specific to Bolton at all. He actually took the existing PowerPoint that was previously in the folder for the cottage overlay bylaw and added additional picture slides to it. So there's some work that needs to be done to it still.
Well,
but it would
it's
be the
100,
general.
100 slides too. So I mean, if this is something we want to present in a public forum or a town meeting, we definitely want to tighten that up a bit.
I think it is good to just show people what things could look like.
100%, no question.
Yeah.
We just can't show them 100 slides of what it looks like.
Yeah.
I looked into that Harvard development we reviewed
Uh,
pictures of, and that was, I don't know if you saw the email, but that was
Yeah.
a 40B development that was actually done by the same developer that did the 40B in Bolton,
On Sugar
across
Road
from the
there.
Candy Mansion. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, did you reach out to the planner at all? Was there kind of any hostility towards that, or did you?
I think the planner in Harvard is new,
Okay,
so the one I spoke to anyway. I don't know if there's two.
yeah. But so I'm that.
So they weren't
I guess,
involved.
yeah, it's a little bit, I don't know, disheartening isn't the right word, but like that went in as a 40B. Even in a town like Harvard, you would hope something like that could pass without being a 40B, but I don't know. Either way, I think it's good information and a good example of things to use. I mean, it looks like it's fully sold out, and it seems like a nice place. Eric, I didn't get really a chance to look at what you sent about Mystic Village, but was that a cottage overlay thing you were bringing
It's
up?
commercial.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it was completely off topic.
I gotcha.
But I was just there and I was, just thought it was interesting.
Was it mixed use development or?
No, it
commercial?
was just basically it was like a small pad kind of like multiple building operation. I guess kind of we sort of put wording in like that for the mixed use village overlay, but just a way to put multiple sites, multiple small buildings and not have to be like one to divide it up. And it was just like a really cool, like you walk around, there's different shops and restaurants and like kind of like the small businesses that people in town want. And it's kind of like a destination spot. It's kind of right near the aquarium. So it has that draw, but I don't know. I was just saying something like this would be nice. It was just like throwing it out there.
So it's a bigger size development, like compared to the smaller parcels that we have for that.
Well,
Or I guess you brought up the Kane property, right? So
yeah, the overall acreage of it wasn't very big. It was condensed. But there was like 30 small shops, and some restaurants and stuff. It's really nice. And it's kind of like what I said, it's it's like a created downtown, I guess, kind of like a small shopping thing. I'm not sure if anything would fly, but I was just wondering zoning wise, how that came about and if that was something, we could do.
yeah, okay.
Like I said, completely off topic.
Okay, all right, no worries.
I go there a lot with the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. Yeah. And like, I mean, I know people love the kitchen sink candle company and like they're always wanting smaller shops and I don't know if there's a way like my general thought is if we don't push for something, it'll never happen. So like if there was a way to incentivize that small business kind of grouping up into a single area, even if it required some infrastructure build out by the town, I think that's something that people would appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to discuss on cottage bylaw or Randall's workshop? Okay. So next item of business is release of driveway security. So we talked about these last time, Pam. So someone's gone out and taken a look at these and everything.
Yeah, Randy wanted to check on a few drainage issues. He's been keeping an eye on them and they're all set to be released.
Okay. So I'll do these separately. So I will make a motion to release the driveway surety for 1 Farm Road.
Second.
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
Aye.
Michael Lau. Eric Nyland,
Aye.
Jim Barr.
Aye. Okay. I
Unanimous.
will make a motion to release the driveway security for 50 Mill Pond Road.
Second,
Michael Gore,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
aye.
Michael Lau. Eric Nyland,
I,
James Barr.
Aye.
Okay,
Okay, next
Motion
item of
passes.
business is approval of minutes. I read through them, they look fine, so I will do these separately. I'll make a motion to approve the planning board minutes from January 24th, 2024.
I'll second it.
I just need to. Sorry, I didn't have those ready. I had the. Michael Gore,
Aye.
James Barr,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
Aye.
Eric Nyland,
I,
Michael Lau.
Aye.
You were all here anyway. I just wanted to make sure I didn't accept a vote. Okay, minutes passed by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, and I'll make a motion to accept the planning board meeting minutes from February 14th, 2024.
Second,
Michael Gore,
Aye.
James Barr.
Aye, but did you see my comment?
I did not.
All right, I emailed and it was between it said James Barr and Austin Groner on the roll call. Just a slight mishap or a slight thing.
Oh, I see. Okay, yep.
All right, so
I'll take that out.
all right, good. Other than that, aye.
Okay, thank you. Eric
right.
Nyland,
I,
Austin Groner,
aye.
motion minutes passed by a vote of 5-0.
Okay, that was all the scheduled business. Pam, anything from your side to report?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you've been involved or aware that the town's working on the open space and recreation plan updates for 2024. The last time it was done was in 2017. It's good for 7 years, and then you have to update the plan and submit it to the state for their review. It does require planning board review and vote, so it will be coming before you. It's kind of in a very preliminary state right now, but as we get it into a more finalized format, I'll present it to you for your review.
Is there a committee that's working on that?
It's a staff committee,
Okay.
and we will be doing a public forum, so I'll keep you informed of that. I think it's going to be in late May.
What is the focus of it? Is it just on like parks and public
yeah.
spaces?
It's a specifically, we have one, like I said, from 2017. I'm not sure what the previous date was, but it's a state requirement, and you have to complete certain criteria for your open space and recreation plan, and you inventory all your open space, keep track of how much open space you're losing to development, create a priority area to create greenway linkages, considering habitat, soil classification, that type of thing. And you also incorporate your recreation amenities and identify areas of need for fields, playgrounds, that type of thing. Passive recreation as well. So hiking trails, hiking trail linkages, areas where we can make future connections. So it's similar to a master plan, but more specialized.
Yeah, just let us know when something preliminary becomes available.
Did you say there was an original document that was being updated?
Yeah, the 2017 was originally the one that we're updating. I don't know if there was a previous version of that. I actually haven't looked into that. but it is online.
So I was gonna ask. Thanks.
Can you send a link out to that, Pam?
Sure.
Great.
I
Go
have
ahead, Eric.
one thing. So I was just gonna say, like, eyeing future plans, something to think about. I don't know if this is just the select board or if there's something we can do, but the DPW, where it is in that land, is there anything the planning board could do or even write a recommendation letter to the selectmen to look into move? I think it might have been talked about in the master plan, and maybe you can elaborate on that, Pam, but like, moving the DPW to a more inconspicuous place and reverting that current corner to a business zone. I think like that whole Forbush Mill area, especially, with the rotary coming in and the land that's there behind the DPW and then the land, Frank Chiodo's land across the street, is there something that the planning board can do, or is that kind of out of our hands? I mean, I know like it's a whole, it's a pretty big thing, but is there some type of recommendation or something that, we could say that, hey, this would be good for future planning, like a business zone, if we can get the DPW out of there?
Yeah, it actually is in the master plan. And as stewards of the master plan, you can certainly make that recommendation. As you know, building projects are pretty big endeavors, but
Right, of course, yeah.
yeah, but it's definitely
Just
in there a few times in the master
Yeah.
plan under the municipal facilities section and economic development. So
I mean, it was just on
Um,
my head, just for like, to make use of that land better, it's kind of weird with the DPW being stuck on the corner,
yes,
if, it would flow so much better if that entire square, to the right of Tadmore to Forbush and then across the street was all free. I think that, just, and again, I'm thinking of this just,
Sorry, does the town have, like, I'm trying to think of other parcels of land that the town has that the DPW could move to?
they have
like this
there's municipal land next to the highway behind, like the Clinton Savings Bank, where the cell tower is.
Do you know how
I'm
far
not
back
sure-
it goes there?
I'm not sure, but I think, and I don't know how viable it is, but I think that has been mentioned as a potential spot. And I know on the solar voltaic, whatever bylaw, that was kind of an as of right location for that. So I assume there's buildable land back there, whether there's access or not. And I don't know if, because you'd have to probably go by that lacrosse field. I think there's like an
Mhm.
access road back there. To me, that seems like, and it's more central, it's more central in Bolton. But just if we're thinking like a viable business zone, it's just another like kind of thing I'm just throwing out there that's long range, but it's something to think about,
Pam, with the Derby field improvements, I don't know. I know lacrosse teams youth lacrosse is the only team that uses that land right there. Have they talked at all about moving the Derby field, kind of where there would be more space, better parking, once the field, is kind of in better shape?
have they talked about doing an additional field?
No, just like, I mean, I know the lacrosse groups use that field, but it's pretty terrible. Like the way they have to park there is awful.
Right, yeah.
And the field doesn't seem particularly great. I wonder if they know about the improvements kind of Derby and be able to use Derby field, because I think they seem to be on weekends and in the evenings, I guess they practice.
Oh, you're okay. I'm sorry, I got confused. You're talking about the
Yeah.
highway field
Yeah. Like
using
if,
Derby. No, I
Yeah, like-
haven't talked to anyone about expanding the use. We're kind of just working on the design right now, and then we still have to get construction funds. So we haven't gotten into scheduling or expanding the use of the field.
I mean,
Okay.
that is good. That is a good question. Is it going to be considered a school field, or is it going to be considered a Parks and Rec field that other groups can use?
It's
Derby field.
open to everyone, but school gets priority.
yeah.
Got it.
Because I mean that, that's an option, right? Is like you take you take the lacrosse field, the existing
Yep.
one, and use that for DPW space if you
Yeah, I
wanted
mean,
to.
that makes sense.
If we had better field options
Yeah.
for lacrosse.
Hmm.
But I mean, not, just throwing ideas out there.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think it
what
would be good to something with Forbush Mill and make that a more cohesive business district.
Right. Totally. And that's
And
kind of like, it's sort of like the gateway to town a little bit. And it's just so weird coming in from the west that, here's our DPW. Like usually it's kind of like in a more like a different location, but I don't know.
yeah,
No,
I
you're
think,
right, Eric. It should be a more updated facility that they have. I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah.
this town is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and
yeah,
they need to have the facility. And I mean, I drive past it all the time to go to the transfer station, and it's just like, they need more.
yeah.
It's time to upgrade.
Yeah, so
The inside's in tough shape,
mhm.
Yeah.
even
I mean, so what is, go ahead, Eric.
Oh, sorry. I remember like years ago, there was some developer that came into the Economic Development Committee talking about some type of swap, like if they could get that land that the DPW is on, they could help put money towards building a DPW on other municipal land. So there might be like opportunities like that.
So Pam, I mean, again, we're just like talking completely
Yeah.
wildly and
Exactly.
irresponsibly and hypothetically here, but it's like, so that's town property. The town would presumably have to sell that land and then we would rezone it. Is that how a process like that would work? The
yeah,
DPW land I'm talking about.
yeah, and then you need to put out the request for proposals.
What do you mean?
Before we rezoned it, or
No, after to sell it. You can put
Okay.
out a request for proposal seeking development that you desire and see what kind of responses you get.
you can't just so we can't just sell it for, well, I don't know how to rezone it and then sell the land.
You can, but if
okay.
if you want a specific
I see.
kind of development in mind, you can tailor it to the type that you want
I see.
and go with the most desirable response.
So for instance, tying it all together to my discussion before, if we found a developer who would build that kind of multi-pad business district, including that corner of the DPW, somehow tie it all together, right? So that's sort of what you're saying. Like you're saying, I'm even confused what I'm saying, so sorry. I guess you would need like sort of, if we had a developer who was interested, and we rezoned it, would it be good to have like a development plan to couple with the rezoning and everything all at once to help it pass?
Yeah, I think so. If you open it up to whatever the zoning allows and you don't know what's going there, then
Exactly.
you might not get the most desirable outcome.
Right. So it's almost better to have like, I remember like I think it was like 8 years ago when the Canes wanted to have like, they tried to get a Market Basket. They kind of had like a development plan in mind and the town didn't like it, or whatever. So that whole thing got turned down. But like, if this land swap and the DPWs move in and, hey, we're going to rezone this, but this is like the developer and this is the plan, it had much more likely chance of passing through town.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You can identify a developer and say we're going to sell it to them to do this.
Yeah.
I think what you'd have to come up with a proposal that you'd like, and then get bids for completion of what
the
outcome would.
I guess if we had like concepts or something.
But understanding like at a high level what those steps would be, I think that'd be a good first step, and then who we'd even talk to to kind of get the ball rolling on something like that. I mean, I imagine it would be an enormous expense. I remember back in our capital planning days, Eric, that they would typically put like a $3 million line budget for a new DBW. But
Yeah, I remember that.
you know, not in the hopes of it ever passing, but just having it out there that they need a
Yeah.
new facility.
Yeah.
So, but I like it. I think we should try to identify stuff like that and bring it forward.
hmm
Okay, anything else that people want to discuss? Pam, are you good?
The master plan's moving forward. They're gonna meet again May 2nd. We're reviewing chapter content now, 1 through 4. Is in a pretty finalized draft format. The implementation chapter's done, and we're going to hopefully review the remaining chapters at the next meeting. So I'll keep you up to date as that moves forward.
So when that's completed, so what happens? The planning board has to like have a round of special hearing, a public hearing, and then do we recommend it to the town to vote on? Is that what happens, Pam?
It's our choice if we bring it to town meeting or not. The planning
Yeah.
board is required to accept it to make it sort of a valid master plan.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't require a public meeting. We've done that. I think the thought is you do that throughout the entire process to gain the
Okay.
public input and things. So it's really just a placement
I
on
didn't-
the agenda for your review and your vote.
Yeah, I didn't know if it required a hearing.
No.
And then we decide if we want the town to vote on it, like to
Well,
ra-
the
ratify
select
it?
board typically would put it on
Oh.
a warrant. The master plan's kind of deliberated on back and forth on whether to recommend that or not. I think there's some skepticism because they put a lot of work and effort into it. And if someone identifies something they don't agree with, it can kind of get shot down at town meeting and it loses a bit of its
Yeah, and the-
validity and that
yeah.
kind of forum. Yeah.
and the town has had ample opportunity for input. So
Yeah,
if you can get by without the town meeting, it's probably best.
Yeah, it's not a requirement.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for 4 years, so I think
Yeah.
everyone's had their
Yeah.
their time to comment on it. So
Yeah. Yep, sounds
it's
good.
time to wrap it up.
I agree. And then we could start doing fun things like moving the DPW.
Yeah, that's in there. First, you have to find
Okay.
somewhere for them to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, if there's no other items of business for the evening, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, good night, everyone.
Right.
See you.
So our next meeting, Pam, is, I think I said that, the May
May
8th
8th.
after
Yeah.
town. Okay, all right. So see y'all then.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Have a good
bye,
night.
everybody.
Yep.
See you guys.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody.